You know, cheers, mates.
I always consider a good rum and coke to go with commentary, but after the third or fourth hour into the games, you're kind of losing focus a little bit. So, yeah, I'll go with water. Water's good. I like water, and yeah, I mean, these guys are like, it's just like athletes, this is an e-sport. Sure, fine, you're not running around, but your mind is just cranking out at such a pace. I mean, you have to take in everything. The hand-eye coordination and the recognition that these guys have to go through is pretty top-notch stuff. We do have the bloodlines now being picked, Malachor and Pondrum. So right now, Citadel of Amma, we are going to see these two teams go up against each other. Losers finals here of the Borderline Gaming Kill the King tournament for the EU, and grand finals coming up straight after this. Again, we don't really see that much of a change up to the lineups. Everyone's, ooh, I take back my words. Cold team, double Ranid. Going to be running that with Peta. I did not see that coming.
I did not see that one coming either, as it looks like, again, on Team Donors by Heart, they're just going to play Vanguard, Herald, and the Inhibitor. But as you were saying, like, we just saw Zab play the Gunner. Now he's playing Renegade or Skirmisher Ranid. That's a fancy suit. I don't know. He's got like leaves on him and stuff. But he still leaps just as effectively. It doesn't matter what costumes you have in this game, what weapons you unlock. None of the hitboxes are changed. None of the cast times are changed. So it is a completely fair game no matter what skin, no matter what perks you have, no matter how long you play the game. From day 1 to, day 10,000, you will still have the same advantage. And Zab, look at that, already going in pretty deep on the Malachor. Wisteria spacing back to try and help him, just in case any shenanigans were going to go on. But Zab already taking a little bit of heat. He's going to get other sided just to get out. Maybe they're calling for a minor reset, maybe get a couple heals off before they go in. Right now they have a little bit of a meter disadvantage though, so I'm wondering what's going to happen. Malachor does have a full meter, Scriff has a full meter, and look at that, Wisteria is going to be using his Rune of Confusion. Peta dodging a heroic charge from halfway across the screen, cross court onto Zab into Pandrum, so that's huge damage right there. Peta going to be using the Guardian Spirit. Script does not have a Reflect Up. That could be a double Spiritual Link coming out. No, not going to happen. As a Mind Transfer, and Script going to get comboed on by the Ranids. Good Mind Transfer. It does slow. Pandrum and Zab were there for the follow-up and the finish, so excellent play right there. Although a good heroic charge did happen onto Zab, it just wasn't enough to take him out, and Scriff went in maybe a little too deep. Not a little too deep, because I mean his whole team was back here, but there wasn't enough support for like peeling and for trying to help each other out. But right now they're complaining about lag and something. Yeah, Wisteria was saying he was trying to spam barrier, but I'm not exactly sure if it's the server or what's going on here. It might have been just a minor issue on his end, but we are going to be finishing this game up quite shortly. Lag does happen, and in this game, I'd say it's more of an effect than any other game out there that's this game is compared to. I mean, at first-person shooters, yeah, like if you have any lag there, you're screwed. But in terms of like real-time strategies or like other multiplayer online battle arena games like League of Legends or Heroes of Newerth, lag isn't as like much of an issue in those games as it is here.
I hope you're ready to defend those words to the rampaging hordes that might come knocking down your door. But
I will, man.
As long as both teams are experiencing lag, I'm not sure we're actually going to do a reset of the game. So right now, Cold Team has the game advantage. Warm Team jumping right in here. The double Ranids are very mobile with all their various escape skills as well as the blow darts. Lots of poisons going down. As a look at Wisteria right now, dropping hit points at a very good rate. You do not want to bounce up against Ranids simply because of the poison, the stealth. They can just do venom strikes all day. But Pandrum actually didn't go down. It was the other Peta going down. I kind of expected Pandrum to go down very quickly, but no, Peta and Pandrum are both potato meat at this point. Okay, I tried to get all the peas I could out there, but no, Warm Team going to be taking that one. Very surprised on the quick kill there on Peta, but without the healer and such low hit points on Zab and Pandrum, they just kind of cleaned up.
Dude, I'm not exactly sure what Peta was doing, but he only got 90 heals and like 20 damage, and then he just got absolutely decimated by the heroic charge cross court from Scriff. Scriff has been known to smurf his ultimates to completely whiff him and to like hit pillars and stuff like that, but apparently this must be some good whiskey that he's drinking. He told me earlier he was drinking some. He is on target with everything that he's done. to this day. Like, even look, max range taunt, still doing a ton of you know, aiming precision right there. And it looks like Peta again still in a very, very bad spot, as it looks like a double Venom Lunge does come out. That is going to alleviate some pressure from Peta. He's going to pick up the rune up there, get that extra 30 energy, and that could have been the reset that they absolutely needed. A single Venom Lunge by Zab, and now he's out of position, but Pandrum still trying to do as much as he can over there in the corner. EX blinds come out. Peta could be in a lot of hurt. No, they're going to try and go back onto the double Ranid, and Peta looking maybe to use the Guardian Spirit pretty soon. He's looking for a good time to use it. Let's see when it will be. He's got to use it sometime soon. Right now, double Spiritual Link, only one of them hit, but it's still going to soul bind him up, and all the damage that the Ranids do going to spread around to the other allies on the warm side. And right now, double Venom Lunge, good job right there. Peta's still in the back. Nobody's pressuring him, even though he got so low early. And oh, pop goes the Weasel. And that is Malachor first to die, followed by Scriff, Wisteria, the last man standing. So great job right there. Peta able to get out, able to just other side, sneak around the corner, get those heals off, and nobody ever finished him and, you know, put him down into his grave. And he was able to heal up Zab and Pandrum, who did the majority of the work.
Look at the healing coming out of Malachor, 900 that game, and just they really shout out to Fix the Bloodgates. I like that. But yeah, I mean, right now that was a good turnaround there on the Cold team. They just couldn't finish off Peta using line of sight and, you know, the different height discrepancies and all her skills to great effect. I was really wondering when that ultimate was going to come out, and thankfully it did. I kind of expected if she died with full energy, that's always one of the worst things you can do right now. But Warm team is going to be in here. A good taunt going down on Peta, because Scriff does not want her to be living this round. He knows full well that last round, because Scriff lived, a lot of extra healing got down, and Wisteria cleaning it up for them. So right now, Zab and Pendulum, the two Ranids, are going to be jumping in and around the space, but look at the discrepancies in the hit points right now. Very, very much in favor here of the Worm team. Down goes Zab, and I think that was a triple laugh. It was Wisteria picking up all 3 kills there.
Yeah, I mean, inhibitor, it's no joke. Look at that. Ranid, melee DPS. Wisteria, supposed to be a tank as inhibitor. Yet he's still cranking out that damage like a mofo. Rune Infusion, 80 damage, and that also heals him at the same time. And, you know, again, it's almost like rocket launcher. It's just like 20, 20, 20. And it applies debuffs as well for your allies to use. So, you know, it's quite strong. We'll just say it's quite strong and leave it at that. And Wisteria is going to go in on the middle of the fight. He said, hey, I'm the tank. I'm going to try and get your attention. Scriff is there just staying by Malachor, trying to see if any of the Ranids are trying to be sneaky. He's going to go actually offensive right now. And Wisteria, they're just going to leave Malachor to be by himself. He spaces in by his allies. Very good. Throws down the Chrono for a little bit of a slow factor. Good fears out there. And in the meantime, Pandrum, wow, double Venom Lunge already. This guy is on fire with getting energy, and, you know, he plays quite a nasty Ranid, and oh, Scriff could be going down, and oh, mid mind transfer, he does actually die. So good job right there, Peta. I thought it might have negated the Venom Lunge Venom damage once it pops, but Peta got him anyways. Pandrum and Zab just so mobile as those Ranids, absolutely annoying. Also able to keep that pressure up against these two tank bloodlines. You know, they can combo and have a lot of CC, because once you slow down Vanguard, he doesn't become quite as effective. Like, you dodge the taunt, and, you know, if you throw a toxin bomb on him or something like that, I mean, he can't get those rage stacks off. He can't, you know, get his shield slam anywhere. After he spaces, you know, he doesn't really have any other great mobility options. So I think what's happening and why Zab is going as the Ranid is because they're going to play the mobility game against him. You know, hey, you might be beefy tanks, but if you can't catch us, then you're not going to do any damage to us. And we're just going to run around and kite you all day, and just make sure we're looking for those defensive cooldowns, like, you know, the runic barrier, or we're going to be watching for when you use your battle shout and things like that. So, you know, reflect, making sure not to hit that. It's an interesting dynamic what they've done in this game in terms of, you know, how teams are changing, and I like to see that. I really do.
Temple of Shios. I'm probably saying it wrong, but Temple of Shios.
I tend to say Shiloh. You know, think it's like French.
Shocks? Something. Okay, so we're at the Temples map here. This is going to be... we do have the first game in favor there of Zeb, Peta, and Pandrum. And right now they have not swapped up their lineup. They are going with double Ranid yet again. And Scriff, Wisteria, they're going to have to do something different this round if they want to start winning some more of these matches, you know, like 3 of them, so that they can move on as well. But right now, Pandrum is off in the corner. He's a little bit too far from his hero. He gets comboed a good bit, but so Wisteria is going to be the counter to that. Look at Zab just doing the damage right there, and the poison going down. They do not want to leave Wisteria alone whatsoever. Malachor is going to try his best. I think we had a battle shell come out there from Scriff, and right now we do have, you know, the health point bars are kind of equalizing out, but just damage going down. Wisteria still very low. Malachor is also getting a lot of focus here from Zab. Scriff jumps in, tries to get off, you know, tries to peel Zab off, gets the taunt off actually, which is really, really good. Zab going to jump around, blow darts into the face of Malachor. Malachor doing a swap, going to be over there in the corner, but no, I'm not sure. Wisteria is very low, Malachor is very low. Scriff, again, very low. Big hit point advantage right now for Cold Team, but Zab has to be very careful. He's up there in the corner. We do have the Guardian Angel Wings coming up. Peta is going to be trying her best to do everything she can to keep everyone alive. Scriff, however, might have a different option as he's down there in the corner, and they're all alone, but who goes down? It's going to be Malachor to the double-ranted pressure, and look at that intercept. Just charges Peta off to the corner. Zeb comes to try to peel again. Wisteria trying to take on Pandrum. Pandrum's just going to jump over there, picks up. No, he has an ultimate ready to go. Oh, great use of it right there as he takes out Wisteria.
Whew, man, yeah, boy, from Zab. So that, you know, they're pretty excited. They know, hey, this is the losers finals. Whoever, like, if we win this next, like, 2 rounds, then they were gonna go face in Soviet Russia. They know that, and yeah, they have their, you know, the gold in their sights. They want to take down the king. They want to fight for that money. So we'll have to see, you know, how exactly this is gonna play out. Right now, Donors by Heart on the Warm team really having a hard time against, you know, Peta, Zab, and Pandrum. Have no idea. So we're going to have to see what goes on. Pandrum again getting other sided. He's going back into the fight though. Malachor taking double melee pressure. And look at this. He goes down so quickly to double Ranids. No team support there, but the counter kill comes on to Peta. Double Venom Lunge comes out. Wisteria gonna try and get out of there, but no, not gonna happen. Pops for some damage. Intercept goes out, but Zab looking very strong. He's gonna get a double Venom Lunge. Pandrum's gonna have to run away. He's gonna try and run around the corner, and oh no, look at that. The Vanguard, the mighty Goliath going down. Not gonna be getting back up, and Wisteria just gives up at that point. He knows he's not gonna be able to get Pandrum, and Zab already had a huge life lead on.
Not to mention he was off in the corner, you know, healing. But no, it was an interesting tactic there. We did have the healer swap, and as you did say, Malachor just looked very stuck in a corner. I mean, he had 2 Ranids on him, but at the same time, we had Wisteria and Scriff just taking their Peta off to a corner, having their way with her, which just, you know, so it was a good swap. Unfortunately, it does look like the 2 Ranid combo was able to just do a little bit more than the double tank combos. So right now, people showing how to play these Ranids against these beefier characters. Right now, though, we do have Warm Team. They're jumping in. They're like, this is the last round. We got to get something out of this to keep going, and they're going to be super aggressive. Zab already down to half. Pandrum and Peta, not really that much touch. It does look like Zab is the target. He's going to try to run right now, but if he runs too far from Peta, that's going to be not any good for him. And right now, it almost looks like we don't have any counter damage going down here onto the Warm team. But Wisteria, as I say, it starts dropping really low. So does Malachor. Looks like we had a good ultimate coming out from one of the Ranids, because I saw him just streak across the screen there. And Pandrum, Zab, they're really trying to finish off this team. But Warm team, again, I still think they have a little bit of an advantage. They're trying to split up everyone. Zab jumps right over. He actually gets swapped by Malachor. I think that's pretty sure that was a kill there from Malachor, which is not that often you see one of those. Pandrum, however, is looking really low. Overkill coming out on him. And this is what we need for the Warm team. They need to keep them around. They need to keep up the pressure. And right there is showing you how to do it.
Yeah, no, I love this change of pace. As much as Bloodline Champions is a matter of, you know, individually hitting your abilities and working as a team, but you also can change the pace of your game. Instead of like playing defensive, like you said, they were just being ultra aggressive. They caught their opponents off guard. And like, there's more mind games for you. It's like, you know, if you're getting stuck in a rut, you have to change things up. And, you know, whether you change it the right way or the wrong way is to be seen. But, you know, I like the change right there. That adds another dynamic to this game. You know, throwing your opponents off their normal rhythm by changing your rhythm right there. And look at this, being aggressive again. Scriff just going in and, you know, intercept, getting Zab out of the way, only getting single Venom lunges. And, oh my goodness, look at that. Already taking down Peta. Amazing work right there. Scriff is an absolute monster this whole round, and you know, Malachor's doing a good job using his space semi-offensively, semi-aggressively as well. Like, he's going through healing Scriff with it, but he's in the front lines. He's not standing in the back. He's up there in the action, and he's getting a lot of, cerebral shock, cerebral blast. Well, cerebral shock is the EX version, but, he's up there doing stuff, and the chronos are more effective that way, because if everybody's in a little cluster, then, darts get reflected, spiritual link gets reflected, which does, a little bit more, and, I don't know, I like this changeup.
I can't really say I disagree. Scriff took 373 damage last round, so he's really playing up to that big damage soak. So great healing coming out for everyone. Right now, again, they're just jumping in. They're saying it's working. Why not? We'll keep doing it. Pandrum already down to about half, although he's getting healed up a little bit. We have the energies climbing. We already have Wisteria up with his Runic Infusion. A lot of shots going out onto Zab. Zab actually somehow surviving, but only get a shot in the face. Actually, I think it was more punch in the face by Scriff, but now it is looking very grim for Cold Team. Pandrum off in the corner. He's kind of line of sighted right now from Peta. Going to come back to his healer, but it's not going to be enough. Incapacitate to an M1 or an M2. It was one of them. And it almost looked like it was just reflected. Everything was reflected right there. And Warm Team, you're giggling like a schoolgirl, guys.
Oh my god. Oh jeez. Did you see what Scriff was doing there? And what he typed?
Pillar, die. Yeah, I did. He whiff it?
And he was M1ing the pillar. He knew they had that in the bag, and he was just hitting it left and right. He didn't care. He was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, I've hit all my ultimates except for one. I've hit most of my abilities. I've actually got to, live up to my name and actually hit the pillars and things like that. So, oh man, these guys are absolutely hilarious. Maybe the whiskey's getting to him a little bit as well. Oh man, I don't know. I just thought that was really funny, but I guess giggling like a little schoolgirl, not quite appropriate for the stream, is it?
No, if you had you could have just kept yourself muted, and you could have, laughed like a villain if you really wanted. But yeah, I don't know. The losers finals not the best place to start taking your hate out on a pillar. So maybe it's that whiskey, as I said. As time goes on, the more drinks you have. Yeah.
I mean, he's still playing remarkably well, so I don't, give him any bad name whatsoever. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. Sorry. I've talked to Scriff a lot too, and he's just a really funny guy, and that's, I don't know. It saddens my heart that the pillar had to go down.
Well, this is you okay, mute yourself, go laugh, get it out of your system, come back. We are here, losers finals, game number 3. This is what we want to see. You want to see the hype, you want to see the excitement, and it is going to be these guys. Whoever does this goes on to try to kill the king and take away their mantle. It's just like, revolution is in France.
All right, I've got that out of my system and I'm ready to go. It's going to be the Baku the Fallen Fortress. And, all right. Scriff, Malachor, Wisteria, again for Team Donors by Heart. Pandrum, Peta, and Zab for Team Ham No Idea. Like you said earlier, this is going to the grand finals. Determined after this match which won. This is a pretty straight open, flat map. We might see similar results from the Citadel of Amma when these two first joined in combat. So we'll have to see how this one goes. Putting on my professional mask right now as we are getting on to this next one. Looks like Zab, getting a pretty decent blind onto Wisteria. Playing those mind games, forcing the Wujus and things, with that camouflage, very potent ability. And right now he's going to switch on to Malachor, but Malakor's going to go by Wisteria, going by one of his tanks. Very crucial EX Sphere. Zab's already down to 50% HP, out of the fight as usual with those spheres. Very nice use right there, not breaking them early. And Zab getting a single Venom Lunge off. In the meantime, Wisteria looked like he used his ultimate, but not to much effect, as already there is so much damage happening on this Cold Team. They're all at 50% HP, nobody really being taken out, but in the meantime, Scriff actually with a nice intercept did take out Peta while I was talking about all that, and now again Wisteria, I think that is the second ultimate, and he just went to town on this Cold Team. Like, look at that. How much energy? Yeah, 221. He had 221 energy. So he had 2 ultimates in that fight. And Malachor, again, they're going with this offensive style. I like it. I really do.
Wow, after getting decimated, for that first game, and then had to really do a big comeback for that second. They're just going to keep doing what they're doing, and yeah, Scriff again with the intercepts, the charges, just really separating the team, just getting them a lot of distance between each other, and he was able to pick up that kill just as you're saying nobody's dead, which I found great. But no, Wisteria, he's going to jump over here or get pulled. He's going to be over there. 2 Ranids, however, not really putting that too much pressure on him, so I'm not too sure what the Ranids are going to be doing, if they're going to be changing up their playstyle at all. They have found Malachor. Malachor's going to space out. Pandra does want to chase, but you don't really want to get between Scriff and a wall because he's just going to slam you right into it. And right now, Zab is going to be taking the brunt of all the damage. He's going to try to kite Scriff off a lot, but you notice Scriff not really taking the bait. Neither is Wisteria. They're really staying with Malachor. They know that the Ranids have to get in. There's no point chasing them. They're very mobile. You don't want to get caught. You don't want to get kited, and you really want to keep Malachor up and healthy. So Wisteria with the Runic Infusion, I think he only landed about maybe 1 or 2. He's going to jump over here and get off a little bit more damage, but overall the health pools are just really not dropping that quickly. Scriff is going to be taking a lot of damage, so is Wisteria. As we say, that Peta has the Angel Wings out and about, so Pandrum and Zab are going to town. They may be able to get a kill. They did end up getting that kill on Wisteria. Scriff very low as well, and Leg is being blamed on that kill. 2 simultaneous things there, and that's a cold team advantage.
Not exactly sure why they're talking about lag. They've got green ping. It could be packet loss. So you can never tell with packet loss what's going on. They might just be pinging okay, but right there, I want to mention Pandrum, Zab, and Peta from Team Ham No Idea. They changed up their style a bit. They didn't go in as aggressively as before. Zab's sort of like waiting on the outside, shooting the darts, other sides being used. Peta's playing a little bit more defensive as well, and just waiting for those swaps, getting the Warm team a little bit more spread out, and I think it's working in their favor. Now they're 1-1, and we're going to see how, things keep going on from here, with lag or not. But it looks like Pandrum going to come back, trying to help, take some pressure, and Scriff looking pretty low. Guardian Wings do come out. Zab, again, just being really sneaky in the meantime. Double Spiritual Link comes out, as well as a double Venom Lunge, but that was to no avail, as, really... Scriff died almost right off the bat, and it looks like it's just double Ranid versus Malachor and Wisteria. Huge combos can come out. Now that Runic Barrier is down, Malachor could be in a lot of trouble. And Wuju of that Frog Leap, and I don't know, right now they've just been taking a lot of chunk damage, and right now double Venom Lunge coming out. Malachor does not have any way to space out. He could pop down to death. No, not going to happen. They do take out Wisteria, knowing Malachor isn't as much of a threat. So good play right there. Zab with, what, like 2 HP? Very, very close.
1 on my screen. 1 hit point.
Wow. Cannot get any closer to death than that, man. Trip over your shoelaces and you're done.
Sneeze and you're done, yeah. So, cold team taking that 2-1, and right now, I mean, yeah, they did have to swap up their style. They knew that... the Warm team, they're going to be charging in here very aggressive, and they have to really do, you got to learn from that. You got to learn your opponents, learn how to read them, learn how to predict them, and then learn how to beat their strategies. So, on the battlefield, everything evolves, and they're really doing big adaptations. Zab, however, is going to be dropping a pretty low. Peta as well is going to have to be running off to the side there, but Zab also doesn't seem to be wanting to be left alone. Scriff just really wants to keep him in range, gets a lot of damage off into him, and right now it's not looking very good for Zab whatsoever. The Runic Infusion coming out, doing a lot of work, and Zab is just running around trying to stay alive at this point. Scriff jumps over to Peta, but he's very low himself, and Malachor is just way off on the other side. We do have Wisteria as well taking a lot of damage, so we do have a little bit of split DPS. The only person really healthy in the game right now is Malachor, but Pandrum actually looks really much better at this point now that I look at him. So he's going to jump onto Malachor with the help of Zab, going to be bursting him down at the same time it looks like Scriff, and that's going to be that.
Yeah, GG, and that's 2 maps in favor of Ham No Idea. So they are going to be going to the grand finals to face in Soviet Russia. Well played right there. Good change-up of strategy. Playing a little bit more defensive, spreading their opponents out a teeny bit, by playing defensive and, using a lot of that space as possible, because when